Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson. I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground.
Frickin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank, dude. I'm your host, Strider Wilson, dude. I'm extra fired up today. We got Aaron on the sticks. What up, Aaron?
What up?
Chilling, dude. And you already know, if you're watching on YouTube and if you read the title of this episode, we have a guest today. We have an absolute legend here. Christine Young is in the building. Christine, welcome to History's Dank.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you. And we met through... We have a mutual friend, Drew, who's a legend, dude. Drew's a chiller, dude. He can play beach volleyball. And honestly, if you play beach volleyball, in my book, you've taken a shortcut to friendship. It's pretty sick.
Easily.
House a few IPAs or maybe with some Modelo's.
Yeah.
IPAs might slow you down out there. And then we got brunch.
We got a goddamn great brunch.
We got weekday brunch, everybody. We're living right.
Tried to order off the Saturday menu.
That is true.
That
is true. I ordered my eggs over hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I knew we were going to be friends. I heard you say,
same.
Over hard, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There was a spider on our table that almost like murdered you.
Yep.
So, but long story short, we took the shortcut to friendship. We were like hitting it off. And one of the things we hit it off about was the movie 1917.
Yep. How the fuck did that get brought up again?
I mean, I always bring up period pieces anytime I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what era can we talk about right now?
Totally.
I mean, 10 minutes into any conversation, I brought up Gladiator, Braveheart, and Con Air.
Yeah.
Con
Air.
That's an all-time movie.
It is.
Well, and you should know, because for those listening, Christine, and you can expound upon this, but you are an amazing writer. You actually are writing on a show that's coming out soon. I don't know how much I can say about it, but it's going to kick ass. It's from creators that you've definitely heard of and stuff that you've loved in the comedy world. You've also worked in VR and what else? I remember just hearing this being like, dude.
Yeah, no, I've got like a crazy smack of all trades situation where I'm like really good at smack talking during all of my different jobs, but we'll see. No, but worked at Playboy, did the whole thing. Kind of like... have my hands in all different types of creative stuff. But
is Playboy, when were you there?
A few years ago.
Do they do, because I used to know they did like the best interviews and stuff, right? And like that's like people like, oh, I read it for the articles was the main joke.
Yeah.
But then they did didn't they take nudity out for a while?
They did. It backfired.
I was going to say, is it back in now?
Yeah, totally. I mean, nude is in all the time.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's sustainable. I'm all for it. Speaking of nudity, what's your take? And maybe we talked about this more. Euphoria, go.
Dude,
weird, not weird, okay,
bro,
who's it for?
In my mind, when you said that, I thought to myself, maybe I should bring up Euphoria. I was like, but that's not a period piece. That's a today piece.
Yeah, exactly. It's recent history. It's contemporary.
Blows my mind.
It does. And this is why we're also hanging out. We're on the same wavelength. We're talking Euphoria. Look, I watched the show and I'm like, should I be watching this? But then, did you watch the most recent episode?
No, I'm on episode. I'm like a week behind.
Okay, I'm not saying anything. No spoiler-free zone. But it's good. There's like some good There's some straight up legit good acting.
There is some
show.
legit, although, okay, I think about this. My high school experience was literally the opposite. I used to wear ribbons in my hair in high school, like the same age as these kids. Ribbons, used to drink a shit ton of chocolate milk. Still do.
Yes.
I didn't do anything dangerous, but these kids, I should have. These kids look like they have a fucking great time.
They're having a great time. I'm worried. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I'm worried about Zendaya. I'm worried about every character and the choices they're making. She's got too much.
And by proxy, I worry about Tom Holland.
Of course, yes. I love Tom Holland's my boy right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love Tom Holland.
You got a little bit of his vibe going.
Thank you. Yeah,
like
he's got a little wiliness. Thank you. That's like one of the best compliments I've ever been paid.
And you're welcome.
Thank you. And me and my dank ass fiance, I think we just crushed actually during the holidays because COVID came and visited us. And so we just crushed like all the Spider-Mans. Even went to the theater with COVID. No, I'm kidding. We waited and then actually saw that afterwards.
You crushed like the Tobey Maguire ones?
We went old Tobey Maguire. We did the cartoon Into the Spider-Verse, which is like amazing. And then we even did the Garfield ones. You can skip them.
Oh, the Andrew Garfield ones. I literally was thinking like lasagna Spider-Man.
Yeah. Casey, Mondays. we watched the Andrew Garfield ones all on Monday. And not the best, but I do like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. That guy slaps.
But back to Euphoria. commentary on ourselves. When I'm watching something, when I'm watching a period piece or like Braveheart, and I may have mentioned this, but I grew up in OC. This is why I'm good at brunch. I can order for the table. I'm a very basic, spoiled bitch. And I had a personal trainer growing up, which was hilarious. Maybe you can tell, yeah. And freaking, I was telling him, he's like, hey, what do you know, you're talking, just like you're talking to your trainer. You're going to be friends, get to know each other. He's like, what movies do you like? I was like Braveheart, like Gladiator. And he goes, why? I was like, I don't know. It's sick. He goes, does the violence make you feel powerful? And that was like the first time like I reflected and being like, wait, why do I like this art that I like? So keeping that in mind, why do we like, or do we even like Euphoria?
Love Euphoria.
Oh, love it.
I do love it, but it is because I hate myself. You know what I mean? It's 100% because those kids are so powerful.
Yes.
As children, and I am still not as an adult. How do I get that? How do I get that HBO juice? You know,
that is so true.
Shorts, drugs, maybe an old car.
Yeah, an old car would be sick as hell. An old Jeep, like Cal's cruising around in.
Yeah.
I'm like, but then again, it's HBO. We need the nudity. You got to have it. And you know what I do like? That it's equal. I'm seeing just as many boobs, if honestly, maybe more dongs.
More dongs.
And that's why, somewhat of a teaser spoiler.
Well, are you counting boobs as 2 for 1, or
boobs is 1? That's
boobs
one.
Is 1.
It's 1.
Okay, well then
exposed body part as opposed to, because especially when you do see dong, you're typically not seeing balls as well. It's just like the dong.
Yeah. No, but this is, although Sex and the City is doing that too. So.
Oh, are you watching that?
No, I'm watching the new.
Oh yeah, what's it called? What's it called? In a Minute or something? Just like that.
Happens again. Oh
and
yeah.
Just like that. Pretty bad.
What?
Wait, you're liking it?
I actually love it.
Whoa.
But also, I'm like a 50-year-old in a midlife crisis on the inside. I'm like basically like a football tight end on the very inside, and then like a middle-aged housewife in the middle inside, and then my actual outside is like an Asian lesbian girl.
I love that. And you know what I loved about your description is you captured the wiliness of being a football tight end. Is that what you're going for? Like a Kelsey or like a
yeah.
Like they have that like, I love that. I can see that too. That
I
is
could block.
True. Yep.
I could run a route. I could do a really cool end zone dance.
100%. Tight end, what a great position to play.
Yeah. I'm just like 3 feet too short and like 200 pounds too light.
But it's all about spirit.
Yeah.
It's all about spirit.
No, I still could pull it off, probably.
When it comes to spirit, you are William Perry, the fridge. And he was a big running back. Actually, it was a D lineman who was a big ass running back. Thank you to Dadgrass, legal organic CBD that relaxes your body and mellows your mind, dude, aka your dome. I love Dadgrass, dude. Look, dude, it's not drinking that whole bottle. It's just having that little glass of wine, putting you in that right space. I love it, dude. Legit CBD, dude. So, dude, I love the pre-rolled joints, dude. Just freaking dank, dude. And so right now, Dadgrass is offering 20% off your first order at dadgrass.com/dank. That's dadgrass.com/dank for 20% off your first order. And dude, this episode is also brought to you by Ritual, dude, because we deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies, dude, and why. Ritual multivitamins are delivered to your door every month with key ingredients your body needs, dude. Dude, you got to know what you're putting in your rig, and I'm all about taking care of my rig and freaking 2020 deuce, and Ritual's helping me do it, dude. I'm freaking fired up on the multivitamins that they got, dude. Vegan certified, non-GMO, gluten-free. I love that nice minty aftertaste they have. It doesn't have that vitamin-y taste that some other multivitamins do, so I'm fired up on it, dude, and I'm taking mine at night. That's when I do my Ritual, dude. So Ritual is offering my listeners, aka Dankatorians, 10% off during your first 3 months. So Ritual is offering listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/dank to start your ritual today. Aaron, are you watching Euphoria? You watching any of these shows?
No, I don't. I don't watch Euphoria. I watched the first maybe 2 episodes and I was like, yeah, these kids are just making all the wrong decisions and I'm not here for it.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm worried the whole time. Nothing makes me feel more adult. I think you're right. 'Cause, like I see these kids, I'm like, they're cooler than me. But I think it maybe is. We're always comparing and stuff and when watching stuff. And we're sort of setting the table here because I want to compare of like, you know, putting ourselves in these soldiers' boots in 1917, what we're going to get into, and being at a little bit of Battle of the Somme. And am I saying that right, Aaron? I always say shit wrong. Somme?
I think
I think it's
Somme is fine. Somme.
Is it with a thing on the E?
Somme. It's and here's the this is a hint.
French,
It's
so
a French. It's French.
it could go
It's a
either
French
way.
river. The River Somme. Le Somme.
You know, I was born in Korea.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit about you, Christine.
France,
You
it's
grew up in
far.
Korea, and then you were raised in Atlanta.
I was born in Korea, adopted to Atlanta.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
right. Born in Korea,
Super
adopted.
white family. Love it.
Very nice. And then, well, how long you been in LA?
Like 7-8 years.
Enjoying?
Yeah. Well, if I'm either crying or I'm laughing, so you know what I mean. So it's like I'm enjoying it a lot of the time.
Sounds like someone who's truly been in the city. It sounds like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
If anybody hears that answer, listen, they go, I don't believe Christine's lived in LA. Oh, no, you believe. It's so true.
Oh, yeah.
It's so freaking true.
Yeah, like if you're driving, the only friends that I've really made are people that like tip their cap to me in traffic while I'm crying through the window. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Those are your true homies.
LA doesn't have, and you know, you grew up in Atlanta and they have like, oh, this Southern hospitality or friendly stuff. Like, how you doing? In LA, do people, people don't say hi. Like I'm usually a hi first type guy. I like to pride
Oh, yeah.
myself on that. Worked in the service industry, you know, valet and stuff. Out in LA, it's like I see my neighbors and it's just kind of like the neighbor I get along with the most. I'm like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Hey, Liam, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the best relationship I have with any neighbor in my building.
I try to wave to everyone, but it does get misconstrued a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try to wave and just do like the either like the 2-finger thing where you're just like 2 fingers or even sometimes 4 fingers, but like the thumb doesn't get in there. But then if you do the 5 and you wave, people are like, they're thinking that you're trying to track him down, you're trying to get him in trouble.
Warning them about something
Yeah.
that's happened. Yeah, that's
But
a good call.
To you know, it is fair though because I have yelled at strangers before also.
have I.
So like I'm you know could easily be yelling at them.
I've been getting punked by middle schoolers a lot lately.
Why? Where? How?
So mainly at the grocery store, sometimes at the skate park, and it's like I'll get tabletopped. Like there's kids with spiked haircuts, which is still an in look, I guess. And I think it's just because I do present as just pretty basic, pretty like standard guy that they're like, oh, this adult needs to get picked on. And so they just like want to come up and punk me. Like I got tabletopped and they're all vaping, smells like guava ice in the air and shit. And I'm just like,
What?
yeah, it's gnarly.
Oh man, that's a plight of a white man, I
Yeah.
guess, because I can't imagine
I don't know
me
what I'm
getting
doing.
tabletopped. But also,
No, who would do that?
Maybe that would be like a badge of honor if I was like, you know what, these middle schoolers picked me out of the lineup to tabletop. They think I can hang. That means I could be in the in crowd. Which brings us back to Euphoria. I do wish I had had that high school experience.
So do I. In high school, I was the biggest wimp. I was a virgin till I was 21. Kissed a girl in freshman year based on a dare, truth or dare. Does that really even count? No. Then finally got to senior year, and things changed a little bit, but nothing hot and heavy like Euphoria.
Yeah.
No hot and heavy stuff like Euphoria. And we talked about this a little bit. I was raised Catholic. I'm a God-fearing guy. I'm like, that's sin. I can't. you
Yeah.
know. I went to a Catholic high school.
Yeah, I went to a Christian high school, which is probably why we live in LA now, trying to
Yes.
still escape our childhood.
No, trying to spread the word.
Yeah, the
Trying to
good
recruit
word.
people. If anyone out there listening just needs, if you're troubled, if you feel alone, just know you're never alone. Christine and I are here for you, and for a small payment of $10.99 per month, a monthly commitment, we'll send you daily affirmations, maybe monthly affirmations. We don't want to busy ourselves
Yeah,
too
no,
much.
maybe annual.
Yeah, annual. And we'll have
Biannual.
your back. And honestly, we're both super friggin' tight with the man upstairs, so
Yeah.
you guys can pray directly to us.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I mean, me and the man upstairs, like, we're always joking, like, he's been, pulling pranks on me all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, "Huh, you're gay.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, good luck dealing with
Good
that.
luck."
Yeah.
Like, isn't that funny of me? You read my book and
exactly.
you read my autobiography, and
Yeah, and you're
that's what I have
created
to
this
say about
way.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like zing. That's God's zinger. Yeah. Good one, dude. Good one. Isn't it so crazy?
God, we're going to hell.
That's what I love about our boy Yuval Noah. And we'll get into our topic in a little bit because I just love cutting it up and fleshing it out. But he's like, people are like, oh man, when you grew up Christian, that's unnatural. It's unnatural. And his whole point is like, no, it exists, therefore it is natural. If it creates no one invented this. Like, it's not like someone was just like, oh, I'm gonna try this out today. It's like, no,
Yeah.
there's a desire, there's something there, and like, it's natural.
Yeah.
Sorry, it doesn't
That's
fit.
what I say about weed.
A
all the
frickin'
time.
man. A frickin' man. My neighbor's been smoking. I went down today. Guy's just killing it in his life. Sitting in our pool at the apartment building, just blazing, listening to his beat, his Dre pillbox blazing. I'm playing fetch with the dog. Great experience.
That is what I aspire to. That's what also is missing from Euphoria. It's just that experience. After school, you come home, you light up, you take out the dog, you're hanging out, you don't do your schoolwork, and then you go to a party, and you get really fucked up, and then you you get to live the rest of your life knowing what that's like.
It's the best. Raging with the bros in high school, so much fun. I mean, it was awesome. But then also there's nights where it's like, and obviously this is a TV show, but it's like there's nights where we just hung out and watched a movie.
There's
nights where like I just gamed. Or like did nothing, like I went to soccer practice and then ate spaghetti, and it was like that was my day. It's pretty nice.
That's the dream. Like, what are we doing here in this podcast studio right now? Like, why aren't we just playing soccer and eating spaghetti?
Dude, I've been telling you. When's the last time I asked Aaron this? When's the last time you ran full speed? One Direction, full speed, full sprint.
That's a great question, and it's probably been a long time.
Same with me. Like as an adult.
Yeah.
I used to talk shit to my fiance. I'd be like, I'll beat you in a race flat out. I was like, distance, I knew she'd get me. But like, I was like, if we ran, and then like 2 years ago, we went on a jog together. And then at the end, we're like, all right, let's race. She beat my ass. Torched me. That was the last time, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Before that,
I went all out.
Yeah, and I do valet. It's all about courtesy jog, Christine. I don't never go all out. You know what I'm saying?
Unless I mean, if you're actually going all out, then
you can't last. There's no way. You can't last.
Stamina's not there.
So we're talking about youthful individuals, our youth, and it's tragic too because we're going to talk about the film 1917 today and a little bit of the Battle of the Somme, however the hell you say it. And a lot of these guys that were fighting in these battles were young.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Some of them would lie. I mean, you had to be 18.
Yeah.
But they would lie, 16 or whatever, in enlisting. And then you could do this thing. And I wanted to talk before we got into 1917 a little bit. Battle of the Somme is famous for insane casualties. It has the biggest single-day casualties for any war ever, which was any British war ever, which was 19,000.
Wow.
Wounded, killed in one day.
Jesus.
And it's insane. Overall, like the numbers in World War I are like insane. You're like, what?
And people forget about it all the time. World War II was such a smash hit.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone loved World War II.
Yeah.
But World War I, and they were using gas. Gas was so gnarly, chemical warfare, that in World War II, that stuff still existed, but both sides were like, fuck it, hated it so much, like so brutal, they're like, we're not even using it in the battlefield. And tactically, things changed. There was more mobile with tanks and stuff. Mm-hmm. Technology did shift that a little bit, I'm sure played a role, but it was like too fucking gnarly. Mm-hmm. The invention of no man's land. You're familiar with no man's land.
Of course.
Yeah, you've seen 1917, which they cross. But I want to talk about how they would have, especially at the Battle of the Somme, there was basically it was all green soldiers, so new soldiers, and it was a lot of volunteers. So they would enlist you, which I thought was equal parts awesome, but then equal parts tragic because they go to their deaths. But when you volunteered with like your friends from high school, they're like, okay, you guys can be in a unit together. How stoked are you?
Yeah, it's like a frat house of
you're kicking
sad
it.
Army. Yeah,
you're basically camping with your boys.
Yep.
Up until it's time to go do the deed.
Yeah,
which sucks really bad. So it's like that whole.
I had no idea.
Neither did I. I just read this and it was like, and then of course later on maybe they split up because I think like they're sending a lot of notes back to families are like, hey, your whole like town is like decimated. But super, super gnarly and amazing. And then also just anything like, haven't you worked a job where you're like, fuck man, like you have your work friends, you know what I'm saying? Where you're like, I got some work friends where I'm like, all right, dude, we're going to get through this shift together, but like, we're not boys, like I've got my boys, but but if you get someone who elevates to like hanging out outside of work, like my boy Evan, my boy Dave, like they became my actual bros.
Yeah.
Sick.
I mean, they just got a name drop in your podcast.
Yeah,
like that's
up,
real bros.
Yeah. They're crushing it right now, dude. Holding it down, dude. Dave's got a kid now, dude. Evan's over in San Diego. What up, dude? I think he's got a dog. What about you? Did you ever have like a job or something that just fucking you had to just get through?
Oh, yeah.
Just with like a crew?
I worked in a mailroom.
Ooh, yeah.
For sure. But the interesting thing is when you're that young, you don't know, or at least for me, you don't know what you're doing is dark. So
Right.
it's like these kids, I imagine if they're like 16, they're like enlisting. They're not, obviously there's a huge threat of like, getting killed and sort of like, but I feel like that's probably in the back of their mind because especially even now with COVID, the way that some people are treating it, even me, like, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, you can for sure, get COVID and die. But at the same time, life is like going on and you're still trying to figure out what you're doing.
Totally.
And I just can't imagine like the kids in Euphoria enlisting and being like, hey, like this is my...
They'd all just be like, they might actually love the torturous aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be like, this is kind of cool. Everyone's mangled, but I'd love a little bit of weed right now.
Yeah.
Let's just kick it to like some chill house beats or something. They'd be like, the sound of that artillery actually is a pretty sick like bass drop.
Let's get a sample of that.
Yeah, exactly. They might love the actual bunkers because you could just box that. Just down there, just boxing it, hanging out, chilling. And they're like, dude, there's no fucking parents.
Yeah.
There's
But
no
I
parents.
also feel like those kids 100 years ago 16-year-olds 100 years ago are so much more mature than I was for sure.
Totally.
But yeah, it's mind-boggling because when you watch the movie, Sam Mendes does such a good job of the famous one take thing.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you feel like you're along with these kids in a way that I hadn't seen before in war movies, and I would say I'm a pretty big war movie nerd in a way.
Yes, we bonded over that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I agree. Like that whole first sequence when they're crossing no man's land and going into the supposedly unoccupied German bunker, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
And you're just like terrified.
Yeah.
And just...
So just a recap of what that is. So basically the two main characters, one is Tommen Baratheon from the other, Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Thank
and the other
you.
one is, I think this is the movie that broke him, right? He was an actor before, but
Yes.
it's the movie that broke him. And they're trying to get to a formerly German occupied camp on the other side of no man's land, and against everyone's good judgment, they kind of run over and make their way across. They get into some shit on the way. But yeah, that's kind of just the premise of the rest of the movie also, I guess, too.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like there is going to be a charge going on, like they're going to go over the wall and charge a German position, and they just got some updated intel where they're like, hey, we didn't take out what we wanted to, and it's basically going to be a bloodbath, and it'll be all for naught. Because, there's new orders where we're going to switch over the campaign and move a position. So he's like, you need to go there and send these guys and go send this message, give it to the colonel over there, tell him it's from me, the general, and tell him to halt the charge.
Yeah.
And so they're against the clock, and it's gnarly. And that's like, I looked up the actual battle. It's based on an actual battle where Sam Mendes' grandpa was, which is kind of cool. It's like a personal story. So it's based on a true story that Alfred Mendes, Sam Mendes' grandfather, told him about these two soldiers going. So it's really cool, and it apparently took place in, of course, 1917 at this battle, like the battle of the, I'm going to butcher the hell out of this, Passchendaele. Oh, man.
Sounded good to me.
Thank you very much. And so it's based on like, the line is miles long, and they've got to get from one part of it, past a German position, to another one, because, and it captures this, which is also was at the Battle of the Somme, where the Germans are just abandoning their position, falling back to a better fortified one that they built even behind that. So they'll be like, all right, we'll cede this ground, but if we set up just the way the war was fought, if we set up this new position with even better defenses, you'll never be able to cross. So then the freaking general tries to capture that, the lack of German actual soldiers at that position to send his guys quicker over to that other English position. So it's cool. And it's cool that it's based in that real thing, and that really did happen. That happened at the Battle of the Somme. These battles last for months. So it's cool, and that is historically accurate. You always try to look up these films like, oh, what's historically accurate? What's actually the deal? And it's sick. And it's sick that Sam Mendes' grandpa was a badass and was in this war.
Yeah. Literally, rest in peace, both of my grandpas. Love them.
Yeah.
But they did not give me any cool stories like this.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from my grandpa. My grandpa is honestly, I'll say, my grandpa's probably a bitch. You know what I mean? He probably was just posted up, playing, cricket or something like that, or whatever game he liked playing. No, maybe he wasn't playing cricket. That's more of like Australian.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
No, maybe he was playing darts.
Darts.
He could have just
100%.
playing darts.
Yeah.
Croquet.
Yeah, croquet. That's what I wanted to say. That was the lawn game. That was what I was going for. Croquet. Yeah, dudes who play cricket maybe aren't. That game like lasts 3 days. That's a gnarly ass game.
It's a freaking gnarly game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick to do. Bros do bond over grandpa talk. Oh, dude, my grandpa was in World War II. My grandpa did this.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, what is so when your
grandpa
grandpa
talk,
is this going to be like? Is your story's going to be COVID?
Yeah. It's good, dude. What are our grandpas going to say? Like, hey, dude, my grandpa survived COVID, dude. He went to one rager. It was chill. He ended up getting it. Quarantined for a little bit, then got back out there. It's pretty sick. Yeah. Yeah, it's.
My grandpa was in World War II, by the way.
What did you do?
He was in the Polish army.
Dude, let's go.
And
wow.
They got obviously taken over pretty quickly in 1939.
Right.
And he was a POW for 5 years.
Dude, that's insane. He survived a POW camp?
Yep.
That is insane.
You imagine that? How old was he when that was happening? Like 20s or something? Like he was like in his 20s?
He would have been late 20s. Yeah, late 20s, early 30s.
The body's got to be able to take that. I'm at the age now where I can't take that. Like, there's no, like, that's why you got to send, young men fight old men's wars. You got to be of the mindset that I'm invincible, which young people have.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Whatever. Let's party. I'll live forever.
Yeah.
You got to have that. And then you also got to be fit. Like, you have to be, like, somewhat fit. Now, don't get me wrong. You watch these movies. Everyone had bad teeth back then. Yeah. No one had good teeth. But when I'm watching my movies, I don't want to see that, dude. I want to see people that are actors that have good teeth. I appreciate the young freaking dude from Game of Thrones, and then Tommen Baratheon, and then the other guy, Jean Charles Chapman, who in 1917 does this great thing where we're following the young dude from Game of Thrones. Yeah. And we're like, this is our protagonist. He got the mission, and he chose this other bro to go with him, which I was automatically fired up that it's two dudes doing something together. But then, and guys, if you haven't seen 1917, spoiler alert, all right? You're going to get some spoilers in this episode. And I'll put that out in the descriptor as well. But he gets straight up murked.
Yeah. Doing a good deed.
Yeah.
He was being a good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Got fucking shanked.
Why'd that pilot not trust him, dude? I'm like, bro, just trust this guy.
Did that gut you?
Yes.
Gutted.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, what the fuck? That's the main guy?
Like 10 minutes in.
They Game of Thrones him in another movie, because that's what Game of Thrones does. They kill their characters, and Sam Mendes was like, later, he's used to this. I couldn't believe that. But then when you think about it, and I rewatched this movie because I'm pretentious, and I will never reread a book. Has anyone ever told you like they reread a book? Or like if you say, have you read this book? And they go, oh yeah, I read that twice last year.
Yeah, I do that.
You reread books?
Yeah, I like to re-feel feelings.
You're a beast. Have you read Normal People?
No, I haven't.
It's good.
I don't really read. No, I haven't.
It's also good. Also Dong.
Oh, wait, literary dongs?
Literary Dong. Yeah, you get to see.
Do they like describe it in great detail or something? Is that why?
Oh, you know what? They do. Actually, in the book, they do. Yeah, what's her name does? Sally Rooney. Mm-hmm. She does. She describes like I think that's why people like it a lot. Like the love making, and then the fuck, I'm forgetting the girl's name in this. I actually forget both the protagonists' names, but what's her name kind of goes on this. There's a chapter or two where she goes on sort of like a sexual journey, and you're really worried about her, and you're like, no, you really should just be with. Yeah. And you're like, why are you doing this? But
she meets another dong. God damn it.
And it's kind of like a little bit. It's definitely edgy, and in the show, it's a little bit. It's not. They don't quite push it as hard. Yeah. They don't quite push it as hard, especially with the character that's the dude that's involved in it. But anyway, just saying.
So what I'm hearing is you're very pro dongs. Dongs for dongs.
100%. 100%. No dong shame. And I don't know, is equanimity? I want equal. Mm-hmm. Look, I always say this. Mm-hmm. In my entertainment, because I'm a weird guy, I want killing and I want fucking. And if I'm not getting that, I will settle for singing and dancing.
Jesus Christ. The eye contact, I didn't know what to say. I was like...
Yeah, Christine's like, I'm out of here.
All things comedy here.
Yeah. No, don't joke around about that. This is no things comedy on this podcast. All things for real. No, I'm just a weirdo.
Okay, but real question.
Yeah.
Why did that hit so hard when young Tommen Baratheon dies?
Because you think he's the protagonist. You're like, we're following him on this journey.
Yeah.
But the opening frame, if you watch that movie, it's the view from the perspective of the dude that takes over and finishes the mission, and you see him see young Tommen Baratheon get the orders, and then obviously he ends up bringing him along, and then at the end of the movie they bookend it and he falls back asleep.
Yeah.
So he is the protagonist.
Great. But
Sam Mendes is very tricky.
Exactly.
He has that misdirect, which makes you feel it so much more.
Yeah.
And he's going for his brother. And you're like, he's trying to go save his brother. Of course, that's emblematic of they're all brothers.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just so brutal because like he was going to help that guy. Mm-hmm. And they're both just doing their mission. And it's good to note that in World War I, the Germans it was not Nazi Germany. It was a different Germany. Mm-hmm. They weren't like the evil Nazis from World War II. Like, they were the first ones to like go across Belgium and like basically start the war.
Yeah.
But like someone was going to make the first move. I mean, it very well could have been the Brits or anyone else. It was all just like arms races and international trade and whatever. And people signing deals of saying, I have your back. And if you don't have your back, then we're in an all out war.
Yeah.
So they're not like the evil Germans that were the Nazis.
Which gets misconstrued all the time. I feel like I'm even guilty of sometimes I think about like any war and I just assume Germany are all Nazis. But history is a lot more complex than that.
100%. Who do you think will be the next, think about it generationally. Speaking of grandpas, I think like some of the last World War II veterans are dying off now.
I think the last one I saw did pass already, or the last one that was in like active combat or something. Mm-hmm. He was like 100.
Right?
Or 8, I have no idea.
And you have all these but here's the thing, you have these go-to great movies like Die Hard, and Hans Gruber's like a ex-German dude or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not, he could be like from, somewhere in the Balkans, but like fucking where are the Hollywood writers going to find their next like bad guys from? You know what I mean? Like who's it gonna be?
Probably China.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah, and that's not from a place of prejudice or anything. I mean,
no, I just think
that's kind of where we're headed. Just truthfully.
Yeah, because you had the '80s, which was like that was Cold War type stuff, and you had a lot of Russians. You have the Rocky. But I'll say it now on the pod, and I don't think I'm venturing out anywhere to say this, but like the Chinese government does fucked up shit. And it's like fact.
Yeah.
Like crazy persecution and stuff that's going on there is no fun. Once again, we cut it all up. We're at All Things Comedy here, guys. We're having a nice time. But the government, obviously there's good people. You know what I mean? Obviously Chinese people there's great people that live over there and everything. And, especially, look at Hong Kong and everything. It'll be interesting with the Olympics, although they've always competed under, I think, a different flag over there.
Yeah. I just think because just numbers wise, there's really only 3 majors that you can kind of pick on: Russia, China, and the U.S. You know what I mean? If you're writing something and you're like, all right, I'm gonna pick on this really tiny country that no one's ever heard of, then you're like, that's a little bit targeted.
Yeah,
but you could be like,
fucking Costa Ricans, man. They're just hanging out, living the pure life. I don't like it.
But if you just pick up, America, China, Russia, you can kind of just get away with it, which is systemically the problem.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because art reflects reality. And
the fact that we can even just sit here and be like, hey, these are the ones that you can pick on, these are the ones you can't. That's like backwards. But at the same time, you can't pick on anyone else right now.
Isn't it so weird?
Yeah.
It's so weird how there is
conundrum.
that, there's just that standard. It's just what it is. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Well, that's the other thing is the crazy thing about cancel culture could not have, what was not a thing in like 1917, like the way that they had to pass, notes, like they were like, our phone lines were cut. And I'm like, wait, what? You don't have like cell service?
I know.
And like the fact that my mind even goes there makes me feel like such a pretentious bitch. But like the idea of doing like stuff like that's so primitive at that time with such high stakes is absolutely horrifying. And I think that's why that movie hit me so hard too, is because I think we all at first wanted to identify with Tom and Baratheon's character. I should fucking know his name, but
I'm looking at the little thing right here. There's George McKay.
That's the main
guy, is George McKay. And then, anyway, finish your thought. I'll look it up while you finish, because I want to hear this.
I feel like I think we all wanted to, or at least I did. I wanted to identify with Tom and Baratheon's character, being like, "Hey, man, you got picked. Like, you're the guy that got picked, and you are going to do this great thing. You're going to save your brother." And I'm like, you know what? One day, if I was tapped on the shoulder, I could get off the bench and fucking go and fucking run this game, right?
Hell yes.
And I'm like, yeah, that's how I want to feel. And then I think the reason, all the way back to what we were talking about before, is why I think it hurts so bad when he dies. Obviously, because very sympathetic, he was trying to help someone. He's who you're rooting for. But having to literally identify with a new character is the exact same thing to me as going through like grief.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So you literally lose yourself. So and you're in this first person perspective, wonderfully shot. So literally you feel like you're this guy, and then all of a sudden you're forced to follow a new character. You feel like me as a viewer, which never really happens in movies, that I actually am now identifying solely with a brand new character, makes me remember what it's like to have gone through something hard, gone through grief, come out the other side, and being scared to like want to follow this character because they could die, blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
Whatever.
And he's all alone now, and it makes you feel
Exactly.
alone. That's a great point. Damn, that's a great point. And also, is this not what these soldiers are going through? You make a best friend. 1 second later, artillery, anything doesn't matter. Hits a booby trap, gets stabbed by some guys. Done.
Well, I think that's the difference between like Gladiator and these other big epics, Saving Private Ryan, is because you're with the same character, and yes, you're seeing these ups and downs of the same guy, but this at the end of the day, you're never having to remove yourself from that character. Understand what the loss of someone that you just met 10 minutes ago in the movie, losing that, even though you feel so intrinsically tied, like you're boys with them.
100%.
You're boys. You're
Yeah,
name dropping on
you are.
podcasts, these guys, and then all of a sudden, gone.
Dead.
And you played Ghost of Tsushima, right? The video game?
No.
It's a PlayStation original, great game. Basically, Japanese samurai guys, swords.
So badass.
Going through, Anyway, all this to say, you have a horse, and then 2/3 through the game, spoiler alert, they kill your horse. And the same horse that you've been like calling and like having you pick their name, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden your horse is dead, and I cried.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And then you pick a new horse and you keep going. But
brutal.
All that to say, that is exactly what is going through my mind when I'm like in this movie.
It's so true, and it's such a great point. And you bond or anything like that. And like in real life, do you have bonds to animals like horses or dogs or anything like that?
Yeah, actually.
Can you bond with a horse well? Horses don't respect me.
Well, I didn't mean to say yes, absolutely, to the horse question. I meant to the animals.
Yeah.
Yes, I love dogs.
I love dogs too.
I had a dog. My ex now has the dog. It's gutting. Cried.
That's a tough situation. That's a tough situation. My boy Evan, who I mentioned, he has a dog, but it was a dog that he was in a relationship with. Mm-hmm. His ex has it, but they like made a deal where they can still see. Like they basically treat it like a kind of like a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's an agreement between them. Like no court of law is really going to get involved in that. But it's just like, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Maybe in time, man. Fuck.
I know.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Oh yeah.
How do you like it?
Hot take, not really.
Couldn't agree more.
Like people are like, oh my God, so majestic, whatever. I'm like, it's like riding 3 bikes.
For sure. And the horse is in control of me.
Yes.
Like when I'm riding, I'm not a good horseback rider. It's on one of those trails where they all follow and they know they're going to go get their food. And it's like the view's cool.
Are you talking about the Hollywood sign one?
I haven't done that one, but I did one in Tahoe, which is like kind of the same thing. It's like there's a cool view. You take a picture.
The Hollywood of Tahoe.
The Hollywood one seems so sketchy. Like, have you done that one?
I have, but
how is it?
It's actually kind of fun because you feel like you're on the edge of death the whole time. Like you feel alive because you're so close to death. The horses walk so close to the edge.
I got to, in Tahoe the whole time, I'm like, this is the beginner ride. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
If this horse isn't like, I guess they're super sure-footed, but I'm like, fuck, if we tumble, I'm done.
I'm like, if that's the way you go out, if I were to die under the Hollywood sign from a horse, that's like something my kids can make a movie out of one day.
That is pretty sick.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's something where like we were talking about, we want our grandpas to give us some sick material. You've now given any kids that you have or anyone that related to you through Ancestry.com or whatever down the road,
an incredible
some
story.
sick ass stories.
Yeah.
So that's something, you know what I mean? Hey, and if you ain't living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Totally. Also, can we talk about the fear of death?
Yeah, of course.
In terms
Christine,
of this
welcome
movie.
to the pod. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
What are you? I want to
go.
know what you think about death, and then on top of that, how you think you would handle certain death.
I would be I think in a combat setting, I'd be so soft. I would be like, how can I be a tank valet? Or like, I'll pick up the horse shit. All you guys take dumps here. I got you. I'll clean up everyone's dumps. Whatever we need. I'm on that food duty. I'll cook it up. I'm not even a good cook. Anything to keep from going over that wall.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be so afraid. Especially like, I would want ignorance is bliss. I would want to be green. I would never want combat experience, even though that like is better, I guess. I would be so afraid. I'd be so soft. And it's the funny part is because I love combat movies, but I know that if I was in this position, first of all, I don't even camp. And I already mentioned war is camping with people trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So that's a double negative. Then if I'm not with a group of my volunteers, I'm not with my boys. Mm-hmm. So I'm with basically a group of dudes who are my work friends. And I'm going to go get murdered. No, thank you. Okay. It's like hanging out with the valet night shift, dude, and getting freaking murked. No, it's probably cold. So I would not do well. I would be so scared. But in my life, the idea of death, I'm like, it's cool, it's chill. I guess I'm still young enough where I'm not really thinking about it. I'm lucky to be mobile and healthy, so I'm grateful and fortunate for that. And I don't know, what about you? Where are you putting yourself battle-wise and then life-wise?
Life and battle.
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, in battle, I kind of think that I would get out there and fucking go.
We need people like you.
But I feel like maybe that is just me projecting what I would hope I would be when the time comes. And that's like this most interesting thing I feel like too about this movie is that they literally don't know what's going on. And then under this pressure of certain death, they literally rise to the occasion and figure it out. And I think we're always like, I couldn't do that. But I actually think you can, Strider.
Thank you for saying that.
Like you could, you know what I mean? Like after seeing this movie, like, no one ever thinks that you could, train for that and do that. But like neither did these guys. They're like 15.
You're right. And it's like sort of like maxing out at the gym where you're like, I can't do 225.
No.
But then you do that, your boys are around you.
Yeah.
And the right song comes on, like Limp Bizkit drops or something.
Totally.
Then you fucking get it up.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you truly can't judge your action while under fire, because if your back's against the wall, you're going to be different. The decision making is different than when it's not.
Yeah.
Just you have to be in this situation.
Yeah.
You just hope you don't act like Corporal Opham from Saving Private Ryan. When we're trying to insult our buddies, we have a text thread, and we always insult one of our friends, and we're like, "You are Corporal Opham." Like we'll all joke around like who we are from a movie.
Oh my
We're
God.
like, I'm Sub-Zero, or we're like whatever. I'm this character, or like something cool. And then my buddy will be like, and then our one guy is always Corporal Opham from Saving Private Ryan.
I'm gonna try that, and with my next group chat, be like, "Yo, you're this whatever." And friends gonna be like, "What the fuck? She's lost it. She's absolutely lost it."
But if they get it, then they're heroes and they're friends forever because that's sick. It's a great reference. All right, what about in real life? Death.
Death in real life. You know what? I used to be more worried about it, and now I feel like I used to be more preoccupied with death than I was with life, with living. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put that on the back burner because it could be any time.
That's the best way to look at it, I think. That's a great perspective. Live the life while you've got the time. It's the one true currency.
Yeah.
Get after it. Create some memories with those that you like making memories with.
Yeah.
And try to live some stuff a little bit better. Spread that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Richard Madden, when at the end of the movie, when they're talking, the main character, George, with...
Yep. Oh, the other guy's name's Dean Charles Chapman, by the way.
Yes.
So that's the dude who gets killed, and then, George McKay.
Yeah. And then at the end, he basically is just like, your brother saved my life. And then that's kind of like that, the closing thing. And you think about it and you're like, he still died. But he died doing that. Was it worth it? But then because of these like human moments between people, it does. I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Look, that's the stuff that life's made up. Them's the deets. And that's the good shit right there. And it's and it's what we like in our art. It's what we like in everything. It's some notable scenes that I like to talk about are the one scene where he's running through the little town at night and the fucking flares are going off.
Oh my God.
What a great scene. Did I tell you about how I watched them, how they made that?
No.
They made like a mini, Sam Mendes is like a big theater director, which I think why that lended himself so well to this movie was because it feels like a play, like it's all one. And they built like a miniature of that town, designed everything to scale, and like because they want to capture that realism, so they're like, there's not gonna be lights set up, we're just following with the camera, but we need to see because it's night. So they had flares, which are used in combat, so they used something from the era, and they put them on like little wires, like streamers, like almost that you'd see at weddings, that are nice, like outside outdoor weddings, but like it's a ton of light bulbs. They just like shot flares over that, so it was timed perfectly, and then like timed out his run and everything, and like really rehearsed it and got it down tight.
Oh my God.
That was one of my favorite scenes. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, how are they blowing my mind? Yeah. It's like, holy shit.
That was definitely the scene that set it apart for me from the rest of the, Dunkirk and like all of those, like the off and on of that. Oh my God. I was absolutely enthralled.
And I love when he actually takes a time out. Like you need your time out. You know what I mean? Like I need it to get a little bit of respite, and then this character does too when he meets that
the woman with
the baby. And remember, he got the milk because they only had milk at the farm. So I thought that was like really cool. And then doing a little bit of research about this, the Battle of the Somme, they were like, they wanted to leave as many people behind. Like they would put animals in the road. They would release stuff. They would kill some stuff so their soldiers couldn't eat, because the opposing general was like, I want to give the British as many mouths to feed and as many issues to deal with to slow them down as much as possible.
Wow.
Yeah. And also like
that's smart.
Super smart.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's also not the evil Nazis who you figure like would have just killed everybody or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, we're going to it is historically accurate that like this woman who doesn't even it's not even her baby, who maybe got hit by an errant shot.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was, it does feel out of nowhere. And a similar thing happens in Fury and in Saving Private, like, again, I guess all of them, and I think Dunkirk. But that's so true. You never think about the civilians.
That is actually, do you know what the definition of a modern war is?
What?
Civilian casualties.
Wow.
So it's like, and then they say like there's like all out acts of war. So like what brought, which is like basically targeting cities and everything, like that's a full act of full scale war. There's smaller scales of like,
right.
It all starts with like blockades and then embargoes.
You see like the smaller theaters of war when they would have in the fields.
Exactly.
Up, right. And there's no, wow.
You really wouldn't have civilian casualties. There always is some, but like it's like great civilian casualties, which is like World War II, World War I, 100%.
Just bombing villages, cities. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Brutal, right? So like literally, if you think about it, like modern wars have been fought since like the Huns, right? Like Genghis Khan, like would just go and like murk people. So gnarly to think about. But I loved that scene. I loved the accuracy of it. Some like quick little facts about that war. I want to look at like that battle, in 1917. It was, I looked up some numbers of actually, or actually before that, because I can't even find it right now in my research, but the whole time I'm watching this movie, you know what I'm thinking? I'm going, why the fuck are the British always the ones like charging? I'm like the German dudes are just smart. Like, don't charge. Like, don't you know not to charge?
Yeah.
Like, how come? And then I'm like thinking, well, they're just choosing this because it's better for a movie. Like, we need action, right? And so I looked it up, and that's why I looked up also a little bit of the Battle of the Somme. Was like, there was this General Haig, Haig or whatever, and even his like war advisors and like staff members were like, dude, your plan is dumb. Like, look at the statistics we have. And the Somme took place in like 1916. This battle obviously takes place in 1917, but it's like similar circumstances. And it's both British offensive. And this guy Haig was like, no, we need to just go all out, overwhelm, one foul swoop, like take everyone out. Because I guess like Verdun, there was like pressure from the Germans on the French from Verdun, so they needed to alleviate that and really take over at the Somme. And this guy thought that just by like, this General Haig was like, let's just freaking barrage and like send over everyone, like they won't have enough to take it down. But at this point he had no excuse, because like Civil War, early battles of World War I was like technology was way past tactics. At this point the information's kind of there, and he's like, no, we're still going to do it. And his guys were like, look, you can maybe try it on these flanks, but like don't do it across the whole line. You're spreading our artillery guns too thin if you want to do that whole bit. But his whole thinking was use our artillery, break down their defenses, then we'll be fine. His guns were spread too thin, and then that's why you get these like insane casualties. It happens like both in 1917, that battle of Passchendaele or whatever however you say it, and then at the Somme as well.
That's so crazy. And it's crazy too that style of fighting will never exist again. That's why World War I and World War II to me are some of the most interesting things. And obviously, you know, further back in history, I studied a little bit of like Genghis Khan, like you know, that kind of thing. But there's something about these theaters of war that are stuck between two different modes of technology, that it's such a vacuum. Like it will, like, unless there's a nuclear apocalypse, like we're not going to rebuild and get to that era again. It's only going to be Cold Wars from here on out. Like that, that blows my mind. What insane. A great nugget.
I know.
Great fucking nugget, man.
It's legit, and I love that you pick it up, flesh it out, let's go. This idea of no man's land. You talk about that.
Yeah.
You ever see Warhorse? Can we talk about a movie that's? Can we talk about a fucking movie that's?
I saw Warhorse, Christmas Day.
Yes, that's like came out Christmas Day.
2013 or something like that.
Something like that. And it's Spielberg.
Yeah. I had a great time during Warhorse. I remember distinctly looking over. Both my parents were crying. I think my brother was crying. I wasn't crying. I'm a cold-hearted bitch. But
I was not crying.
You do feel for the horse.
Yeah. And you know what you always kind of do is going back to your game that you were playing, which was, what was the game called
Ghost
again?
of Tsushima.
Sounds sick as hell.
Awesome. Big plug.
Whenever you're watching like a war movie or something like that, you always, like whenever the horse goes down, you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh no, the horse. You always cringe more. Like anytime an animal goes down. But Warhorse was like really about the horse. I was like, all right, it's not going to be, it's going to be like a cavalry movie, or like there's going to be some characters I get attached to. And you do get attached to a few characters, but really it's like, it's about the fucking horse.
Oh yeah. He gets, spoiler alert, it's been 10 years, so get over it. But it's been like, you know, he falls into a quicksand thing, and you really stress out for a minute.
You stress out big time.
Big time.
But then they do that beautiful scene where both soldiers come out from each side, which I think is emblematic of World War I, because it was just dudes fighting like their government's wars. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the similar circumstances of World War II.
During World War II, I bet people were like, oh, this is happening again. Like, let's do better this time. You know. Dan
Carlin has a great point, and a very scary ass point, where he's like, generations forget.
Yes.
He's like, and that's what's important about history, and that's kind of why you need to cover some freaking undank things, as well as, you know, some dank stoke-inducing things. But it's important to know the stuff that's bad that happens, because you don't want to get repeated. And it's important to hear these voices, like we talked about World War II veterans, and hear their stories. And it's one thing to hear about it, it's another thing to experience. And that's only, 30 years between those two wars about?
I mean, that's the other crazy thing, the idea of having two major world events in a single lifetime. I'm like, no wonder my grandparents were the way that they are, and like stuck in their ways. But you know what? Also, when I'm like 88 and whatever, I'm going to be a stone cold bitch. I'm just going to be like, bro, you can't tell me shit. I've been through this, and this. I mean, obviously I'm going to try, but
it's kind of the beauty of being old. It's like, it's kind of like the thing of like, I've seen a million iterations of this. Like, just let me do the thing.
Yeah.
Like old people will just cut you in the post office line. They're like, fuck this. I'm in here. You don't even know how to use this place.
Respect, bro. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
100%. Like it's great. You know, there's obviously some backwards things with the way they grandparents think and all that type of shit, and that ain't changing, and that stuff's not good. But like, there is just some stuff of like day-to-day operations with people of like, they feel like Los Angelinos. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, no, done it, have enough, just been living in the city. And honestly, I do feel a little bit of like old guy type stuff where like, okay, just speaking of social media platforms, TikTok. I think depending on what age you are and how your brain's, like what technology you've come up with, like think about screens. We've only had those in front of our face for like
10.
as a like, like constantly, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, that's
beyond
terrifying.
that, like 20 or 30 years, like screens always in the home, always around. So like the data on that coming in is insane. And like, but just TikTok seems so intrusive to me.
Yeah. Are you on?
I have a TikTok. I do, but I like Instagram more because I can get my breather. I can like just go to a post that's like, dude, like even the images in TikTok are always like, like they fucking like move. They're like, like it's moving. I'm like, my brain doesn't need that shit. Like, I don't need pictures to fucking move, dude. That's movies. That's video.
Okay, I think you are showing your age here.
Yeah,
because TikTok is fucking dank, bro.
Okay, let's hear about. Okay,
TikTok
all right,
is the new history. TikTok is the future. Is the now, and it's the new history is dank. So TikTok history is dank with Strider Wilson.
I think
is
you're
the
right.
sequel to this because you know what, the algorithm from China.
Of course.
I take all my info, take what you want.
Yeah.
You serve me up some good shit on my For You page, and I am forever grateful.
That is
I can
nice.
scroll for hours, cry, laugh, and then the best part is you'll be scrolling, and then a little video will pop up that's like, "Hey, are you tired? It's probably time to go to bed. Try this app with rain sounds."
Yes.
Yeah. And then you know, and then you keep scrolling. You're like, fuck you. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult. I'm an adult on TikTok. I can scroll, and you realize it's like 2 a.m. And then another one comes up. It's like, hey, are you tired?
You keep scrolling. And it's like,
Yeah.
do you want to hear Liam Neeson read bedtime stories?
I've been listening to Cillian Murphy read
Cillian Murphy does
the one on Calm. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the Calm app legit?
It is legit.
That's good.
Ghost
I
of
gotta check that
Tsushima
out.
and the Calm app helped me through the pandemic.
Let's go.
Still helping me.
Gaming big time helped me through the pandemic.
For sure.
Just online gaming, absolutely loved it. Fortnite's sick. COD for me. Do you play any Nintendo games like Splatoon? Are you playing like any Switch stuff?
games? Yeah. I'm have my eye on the new Pokemon.
Okay, sick.
But I gotta like justify that with my wallet and just figure out, when's the time to pull the trigger.
Amen.
It's probably when I'm high later and I'm just like, fuck it.
Exactly.
The problem is that you on Switch you buy credits, so you're like, oh, it's fine, I'll just buy some credits. I'm not gonna buy this game. I'm just gonna buy some gold tokens.
It's magic.
Because that's still money, right? Yeah, that's also what gets you in trouble.
It's
with
casino
crypto.
mentality. You get those little chips at the casino. You're
Yeah.
like, this is candy. This is like this is blue and shiny. This
Yes,
is nice. This
exactly.
isn't $50 or whatever.
Exactly.
Gone. Guess what? Metalcore vibes are a drop or a toke away with Daggrass, dude. They'll take you back to a time when music was on vinyl, Delta was an airline, and hipsters were a style of jeans. Not some dudes that write on laptops at coffee shops and look at me condescendingly. So sit back, light up, and chill out the frickin' old-fashioned way, dude. History is Dank is a history pod, dude. I'm fired up on that era, dude. Back when, marijuana was just, you could just have a little bit and it'd be okay. You're not these days where you're just getting too damn high and I'm looking across the table at my best friend saying, hey, you guys still like me, right? No. With Daggrass, dude, their 100% organic pre-rolled joints are very low in THC and high in CBD, so you can enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear dome, dude. And I'm fired up on that. And I'm especially fired up that all Daggrass products are federally legal for ages 18 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the USA, dude. I like just sparking one up on my balcony, dude. Kicking it with my fiance, feeling good. And like I mentioned, dude, I love the Daggrass pre-roll joints, but right now you can get the tincture, dude. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's a drop or a toke away, dude. If you don't want to smoke or anything like that, you can get a little tincture, drop it into whatever you're enjoying, and get your buzz in a new, chill way, dude, and still enjoy it that old-fashioned way like we like, dude, back when our freaking dads were cruising to concerts and stuff like that, wearing jean shorts, dude. I mean, it'd be a miracle if jean shorts were sick again. Honestly, I work out in jean shorts. I think it gives me dad strength. It's easier than having a kid. Anyway, dude, right now Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/dank. Go to dadgrass.com/dank for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/dank. And once again, dude, this podcast is brought to you by Ritual, dude. Because why? You guessed it. We deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies and why, dude, especially when it comes to something we take every day. And I take my men's multi. I love it, dude. You can get it for the whole fam, dude. They got stuff for ladies. They got stuff for dudes. Age-wise, they can do, specialty vitamin if you want to get more of that D3. But I'm doing my multi, and I take it at night, dude, because I get fired up. And I'm staying stoked all day, and I'm going, what's going to get me stoked while I'm sleeping? Oh, knowing that I'm taking care of my body right, dude. Doing my ritual at night, bro. Taking those 2 multivitamins with a nice minty, legit aftertaste. Knowing that there's no full filters, dude, or freaking colorants or shady additives, dude. That it's got 9 multivitamins to help fill the gaps in my friggin' diet, dude. And I'm getting it all done legit, dude. It's transparently sourced ingredients, dude. That all fires me up just knowing I'm doing that while I'm going to bed, just feeling good, dude, while the dog takes up too much space, dude, and I'm barely sleeping on the edge of the bed, but I'm living nice, dude. So I'm just fired up on my Ritual right now, dude. It's available for women, men, and teens. Ritual multivitamins are scientifically developed to help support different life stages, and I'm fired up on my multivitamin, dude. And so get on your Ritual, bro, and get your key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/dank to start your Ritual today. That's ritual.com/dank for 10% off during your first 3 months. Geniuses.
Fortnite, though, a lot of Fortnite. Although I do have a complaint about where I live. I cannot play Fortnite in my room.
Why?
Because of Wi-Fi.
Speaking
of all of this, all this technology, Bezos, all this shit, just let's go. Let's get our shit together.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Figure it out, bro. Go to fucking... Yeah, I bought something on Amazon, speaking of technology and shit, and Amazon's return policy, you got to go to like a return hub, like if it's something that's like a bigger item.
Yeah.
And you can't just like, or even then, like I got to bring it to an Amazon hub, which is always by a college campus.
Westwood.
Yeah.
That one's a hot one.
That one's a nice one. I went to one by USC. I'm living over on the east side. But yeah, and I'm like, this is your method, Bezos? I'm like, what the... No, dude, make it easier for me just to return this.
Send your rocket to my house. I'll put it in.
That's what I'm saying. What the... why the hell did he have to return something to space? Is that why he went to this freaking rocket, dude? He had to go... That's basically what he was doing, fucking returning something he bought on Amazon. Like, dude, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but it still is amazing that I can just order shit and just get it right to my door.
Oh, God, yeah.
Fucking Postmates, dude. Just all that shit's so nice. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm soft. If a big battle came, I don't know, dude. Are we rugged? Like I feel like these guys that fought in 1917 and shit. Like, I don't know. They were like badass.
And they probably didn't even have like inhalers.
Yeah.
Or just
toothbrushes
anything.
For sure.
Jesus, yeah.
I know. So freaking gnarly. So legit. All right. Anything else we want to say about 1917? Oh, I didn't find the statistics from that battle that 1917 is based on, but trust me when I tell you, it's similar to the numbers of the Battle of the Somme.
Mm-hmm.
And the Battle of the Somme, and there's Somme 1 and Somme 2. Basically what I was talking about today is just Somme 1. Though exact numbers are disputed, German losses by the end of the battle, so just this battle, not the war, probably exceeded Britain's, with some 450,000 soldiers lost compared to 420,000 on the British side. Crazy. They say the main takeaway from this was British forces gaining valuable experience and learning. So about 420, so almost 1 million lives to learn lessons. And then,
oh my God.
And they said it would later help them achieve victory on the Western Front.
Population was probably smaller too at that time, I would assume. So that the percentage of people that you're losing is just astronomical.
It's insane. Totally insane. Like the ripple effect of just, and that's one thing that's crazy to think about too, is like just the one life saved, like a Hacksaw Ridge type movie.
Love Hacksaw Ridge.
So good. Speaking of my boy Garfield, Thank you. Worst Spider-Man, sorry. Not his performance is good in Spider-Man, but I just mean like those scripts and those the worst Spider-Mans.
Yeah. I love Emma Stone though. Great.
Emma Stone can do no wrong in my book. Another great movie, and I love that we're talking pop culture. Maybe we got to get you back on and just talking a pop culture subject. But like a movie that's low key amazing is Cruella.
High key amazing.
That movie's fucking good.
That movie slaps. Emma Thompson too.
Both Emmas are ripping, but Emma Thompson is crushing in that movie.
Emma Thompson can get it in that movie.
She can. She's a total badass, and she's a baroness. I mean, don't fuck around with a baroness.
No. And wow, there's a lot of spoilers, but
I know. But what a fun. You know what? We could talk about that because that's a fun era. It is a period piece. It's London in the 70s. The music
true.
fucking rips in that movie. So we could talk about that, do a little musical exploration, maybe fashion at that time.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. And then we love dogs. But before we cruise out of here, do you want to answer a few questions?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything else we need to say about this?
Really quick about 1917. Okay. The ending. I like this exercise. What do you think Sam Mendes was trying to tell us with the ending?
I think...
Because really quick, I had... First time I saw it, I thought one thing, and then when I saw it again, I like felt totally different. So I'm just curious.
I have seen it twice. I want to say the second time reinforced what I thought. And it was like, because it goes that Colin Firth speech where he gives that thing where he's like, from the top of the blah, 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 blah. There's nothing, the king's kingdom is as big as one soldier to blah. Forget what the hell it is, but.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I just literally quoted it perfectly, everybody. But watching the movie, like, first of all, love the filmmaking of it, but just like, okay, story-wise and thesis, I'm like, why didn't he just send a fucking plane? How come they have carrier pigeons at that time, but they do have snipers they could have got taken out, and then that biplane goes down when that brutal scene happened. I was like, why the fuck didn't they just send an Air Force guy? But maybe they didn't want to give positioning, but then I'm like, it's along the line. So then I was like, okay, there's some reason I must have missed. But I think that it is like, that war is... just basically it's this massive machine and it eats up everybody, and the best thing you can do is try to like help yourself sleep the best at night and get through it. And I think that general, by sending those two soldiers, was saying like, because basically he's sacrificing their lives, and he's like, well, I can maybe save this 1,000 by costing these two, and it's like those are just the decisions of war. So yeah. I was like, it's just sort of I don't know what best way to deal with the horrific circumstances that it is, and it is worth it to save any life that you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the most concise thesis, but that's what I took away. But what?
Wait, I love that though, because I mean, I hadn't really thought about it that way from that perspective. I love that.
I was just like, he's trying to sleep at night. You know what I mean? And then so is the one brother just trying to help do something good in this crazy, insane thing.
And it's like the war is made up of hundreds of thousands of those stories, or millions, honestly, of those slices of a story. And like this, just the sheer magnitude of that is kind of scary to think about.
Yeah.
That was just the tip of the iceberg.
You read those numbers, you're like, what?
Yeah.
420,000 in one battle. I think that's like, in the entire Civil War, I think like 600,000 soldiers died. It's insane. It's insane. On both, that's like
should come back and
talk
about the Civil War too.
I know. I haven't done any Civil War stuff.
Too.
I love World War II. There's a lot of great stories to cover. Yeah, would absolutely love to.
A lot of good Brad Pitt movies.
We should just do Brad Pitt roles in World War II.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun. He's got a few. Inglorious Fury. He's probably got some other ones that take place during that time. Like I bet you a river runs through it, like right around there.
We literally could. Okay, so I will say my takeaway at the end was when I first watched, I was like, oh, okay, so he just did all this stuff and now literally went through so much hell just to get one piece of paper to like one guy. And the guy, Benedict Cumberbatch, didn't even give a shit. He was like, get out of here. Like, fuck, basically like, fuck you, fuck the messenger. And I was like, why did we just watch that? It was a harrowing journey, but like, what was it worth? Like, that wasn't worth anything. Then when I watched it again, I'd gone through some shit in between and realized that is the actor George's new chapter in life. Like, he got to that tree and that was the end of that chapter of the scariness, and now where does he go from there? And to me, it was like actually way more hopeful because he looks at a picture of his loved one or whoever that was, and then he's alive and he's here to see another day when his compatriots weren't. And that's a really beautiful thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. It is really nice. And just like, him closing his eyes, it's that growth. It bookends. Yeah, it truly does.
Yeah.
He bookends this chapter in this guy's life, this experience. And this is the experience that changes the character going forward.
Yeah.
That's a great call. And sometimes it takes it's a quick moment. I mean, this is 2 days, which is in the span of a lifetime, not a lot, but it's a beastly 2 days.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You were about to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, we haven't talked about the cameos, like all the big celebrity cameos.
Oh, yeah. There are a few little... Okay, we already got Cumberbatch. We already got Colin Firth. It's like all British dudes.
Andrew Scott.
Which guy's Andrew Scott again?
He was in Fleabag. He was Moriarty in Sherlock.
Is he the guy smoking the cigarette who's like giving him...
Yeah, and he's like, go past the dead horse, and he's before No Man's Land.
Yes,
yeah.
He's great. He does a really good job.
Insanely good.
And you got to think, like, that's a one-take monologue, basically. You rewatching it too. A part of me was like, oh, I want to see where he hides the cuts.
Yeah,
and, he hides them in there, but he does a great job.
I think I found the first 10, and because I was looking too, and then I was like, fuck it, I don't care. I don't want to see him anymore.
Exactly. I want to just be in the story. Like I had to get through that watch of it to just enjoy myself.
Richard Madden.
Beast,
that was cool.
Beast. Of course, you already mentioned too, the guy, that's the dude from
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Robb Stark, right?
Yeah.
Also, if I'm being cynical, he is hotter than his younger brother. So the stronger genes lived. I mean, if I'm being Darwinistic here, he's also a commander, and maybe there's something nerdy in that. No, I'm just being twisted. No, everyone should live. No one should fight. Yeah, exactly. Dude, I like your takeaway there. I like that takeaway, Christine. That's beastly.
Full of stoke, bro.
Yeah, it's all you capture the stoke, and that's all we can try to do is capture a little bit of stoke. And you could make a war movie like Fury, for my money, pretty dark, like not the most rewarding.
Well, Barenthal and
Shia's great
together are such a dark duo, which I love.
Totally. Shia, I guess, didn't shower, and he's doing a tank movie.
And I watched an interview, and apparently they would rap together and stuff.
Really?
Like spit bars and shit. I don't know. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
I go deep on celebrities.
I love Michael Pena.
Yeah.
He can do no wrong in my book, that guy.
Well, except for that one movie where he was a cop, I think.
Oh, Wanted with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
No, is it called? End of Watch. Yeah. Sort of gratuitously violent.
Well,
not that great of a script.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan, so.
Oh, I know.
Fuck Jake Gyllenhaal.
I know. Like that. They say that video that just came out with Taylor Swift, where the guy's yelling on the phone. Mm-hmm. I forget. It's kind of a good actor that plays that guy.
Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah, love Dylan O'Brien.
Big fan.
Same here. He's one of my top guys right now. Timothy Chalamet, Tom Holland, Dylan O'Brien. These are some of the up and coming dudes.
These are your boys.
Right? Yeah. I like these guys. I do not like Adam Driver. I don't know if you don't know this.
I don't either.
I'm not a Driver guy.
Well, I respect his work,
He's
his body of work, but there's something about having seen him in Girls First that makes me want to just punch him.
Yes.
I saw House of Gucci and I was like, I could just punch you.
No, he's wearing those glasses. He's very There's some people who are just punchable.
Yeah, I've never punched anyone, but that's one of my dreams is to get in an altercation in which I'm justified, right? So I'm on the defense, but ideally there is a winnable fight that presents itself to me, and I just go off. That's my dream.
I love that. That's the type of stuff that I think about in traffic. That's the type of stuff I think about in the shower.
It's the kind of stuff I think about when I think about Adam Driver.
100%. 1,000,000%. When you see me calm like this with my steering wheel, those psycho thoughts are going through my mind of just taking out Adam Driver.
Thank God that's normal.
Fight. Yeah.
Let's normalize these thoughts.
These are normalized thoughts.
Cool.
This is what civilization's about, okay? All right? We are civilized because you have to, within all of us lives a bull, and we must tame that bull. And that's part of it. Part of it is that thought process. And you got to get it out there. And then you physically got to do it. Go hit the heavy punching bag. Go lift some weights. You know what I mean? There's healthy ways to get these out.
Yeah.
Go paintball. I love paintballing.
You know what? Maybe I'll go hit something later. Like Drew, our mutual friend, had some extra boxing gloves. I was like, yo, you want to get in there? I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just print out a picture of Adam Driver's face, cut it out, tape it on.
Yes.
Laminate it because it gets sweaty.
Yes.
Keep punching until I become a better person.
It's a great thing. Maybe what I have going on, we've come full circle. This is why we do podcasts. One, because it's a great time to hang out and to boost up, but two, because we can learn lessons ourselves. Maybe those middle schoolers, for me, I have a punchable face for them. Because someone's punchable face, there's other people out there who love Adam Driver. And he's a great fucking actor. The guy crushes it. It's probably part of the reason why I want to punch him so bad.
Yeah.
But maybe for me, when I'm walking outside with my groceries or something like that, the way I'm holding it or the way I'm wearing my beanie, when I shouldn't really be, I don't know if I don't know exactly if I can pull beanies off. I can do backwards hat a little bit, but I was wearing a beanie and I think maybe that was it. They're like, this guy shouldn't be wearing a beanie, dude. Yeah, exactly, bro. Get out of here. It's not cold, dude. We live in Los Angeles. Although it was cold for LA.
Now that I know that tabletopping is an appropriate exercise to do to strangers, maybe we should do it.
It'd be amazing. And they were amateurs. I've talked about this with Aaron. These guys were amateurs. I'm like, you didn't even get me to bend my wrist that weird. I kind of felt it wasn't even a clean fallback where like the wind got knocked out of me, which is a clean, good tabletop. We would make a good tabletop duo.
Yeah.
I feel like you would have to do
You're the top.
Yeah. Do you mean I'm doing the pushing?
Yeah.
Really? Actually, maybe.
I feel like.
But can we get away with it? Can I put? It'd have to be a dude. Basically, it'd have to be like this. If we're gonna push a lady, then I gotta.
Right. No. You gotta be on your knees.
And then if we're
for that
pushing a
one.
dude, then I can push the dude, or you can if you want.
Right. So it's totally subjective. Every single time
We make our
we'll
rules.
go in and we'll be like, you know what? Who is this person? What do they mean to society? And which one of us can get away with pushing them?
Exactly. That's how we have to decide who we assault.
Yes. This is now turned into
That's how
history of assaulting.
We're politically correct assaulting people. That's what we're doing here.
Coming to talk about war and just like
Yeah, well, war's on
dark
our
fantasies.
minds.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go home and like listen to Kanye West after this and just get it all out.
Rip it. Yeah, honestly, I kind of have beef with Kanye. He stiffed
Really?
us at valet. He stiffed us at valet. Yeah, wow.
Wasn't he broke for a while?
He was.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
was. He came up. He does know the value of $1.
Yeah.
But
and he didn't give you any dollars.
Doesn't know the value of a parking spot.
Oh,
because everyone
God.
pays, bro. It's clear. It's right there.
Did you get to drive his car?
Yeah, it's a. I've driven it before, but not that time. It's he's has different cars, but this was the SUV Lambo. Yeah. I make my corny joke where I say he likes to freestyle. Based on that, he likes freestyle parking.
Oh my God,
dad
your
joke.
grandpa.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, you should write that down for your grandkids.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey kids, I have this joke about this rapper that you guys don't know of anymore.
All right, you down to do a few cues?
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was like 20 minutes.
Kanye is legit. No, we're chilling. That's what I'm saying. We're chilling. What up, Strider? Love your pod and stoked for many more appearances on Going Deep. You guys all rock. My cue is this. During your valet days, have you ever stalled a stick shift car? Would be amped if you answered this on the pod. Keep threading and give Aaron a solid what up for me. Thank you, Evan Paris. Thank you, Evan. Answer is yeah, dude. I lied at my first Ritz-Carlton job and said I could valet park and couldn't. And then the guy training me was a chill dude named Jason. And he's like, all right, yo. He like didn't think twice. He's like, because for your training shifts, a valet rides with you in the cars. Just make sure you're doing everything right and can be there to spot you. And we get in a stick shift and I like go to like turn it on and it doesn't start. And he looks at me and it's like very obvious that I never driven a stick shift, because if you have, which I learned now, is like you have to hit the brake and jam the clutch to the floor to turn the car on. Like if you don't have your foot on the clutch, you can't start a car. So the fact that I didn't know that was like newbie 101.
Yeah.
And he was chill. He goes, it's chill, bro. Don't worry. Just don't drive any of them up there. I'm not going to tell anyone. I go, thank you, bro. Would have lost my first job and maybe forever changed the course of history.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah. Have you ever had to like lie on a job or like do anything or like done any screw up or anything like on a job of yours, Christine?
Besides today, when I said that I'm funny and would come on this podcast? I'm just kidding.
No, you are funny and you're hilarious and more so smart and knowledgeable about frickin' dank ass wars and stuff.
Gross.
And you don't love Driver.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, we're
Driver's
just
gone
talking about
down,
driving, dude.
Screw
So many
Driver,
driving.
dude.
But yeah, fuck that. I haven't lied and gotten caught like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
Good.
I will say, I did know that you got to have the clutch pushed down. So thank God Evan asked this question, because
I
now
know.
we've all exposed you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, I did. That was my first job, old valet job. This current valet job, I did know how to do it when I went in, but you got to do some stuff. You got to, on the job, you got to embellish a little bit. Something I wouldn't embellish about is like knowing Excel and then like having to
Pivot
like learn.
tables.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I can't use Excel. I tell everyone like Nah, bro, if you need me to use Excel, I'm out.
No. I also realized the other day, I don't remember how to do long division.
No, hell no. I can barely do like the FOIL method anymore, or like basic algebra equation type stuff.
I was doing something and I was like, oh, I just need to figure out how long, just something super basic for my everyday fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Did it, wrote the numbers, and then that the bar thing with the number underneath it, I froze and I put my pencil down, threw it away, and got my phone out. I literally had no idea how to do it. Or I don't know how to do multiplication either, with the X's.
It's tough. I'm not going to lie.
In the box. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. You use the parenthetical stuff and where you care. I used to have that stuff down pat. It was kind of fun. Some of those equations, I was like, boom.
Yeah.
I got them, but no, hell. I did I majored in econ.
Yeah.
I used to do calculus. Now, not well. It's a bell curve in college. I'd be somewhere in the middle-ish.
Yeah.
And fucking now you show me any sort of derivative, could not do it for you.
Well, now it's even worse. I don't even fucking use a calculator even. I just ask Finder on my Mac.
Yep.
I don't even ask the internet.
Yep. It's what we're coming to. Yep. Supposed to fight a battle, supposed to do trench warfare.
Coming out of this in a darker headspace than I
All right, let's come out of it in a better one.
I'm kidding.
Let's get through a few questions. Okay, here we go. From Quentin. If you could play paintball with any historical figure, who would it be? We're talking speedball, short course. Just know you like it. I do like the short course. Thank you. Also, what are your thoughts on giving Dank thoughts on the pod about the world's first bodybuilder, Eugene Sandow? Okay, sick. He says he's got Clydesdales for triceps and a thick rig and doing it all in the 1800s, dude. That's a great suggestion. So thank you for that suggestion, my Dank dog Quentin. So, Christine, if you're paintballing, if you're saying with, then I'm not going to say against. Who do I want on my team on the paintball course?
On the team.
Yeah. On my team, I imagine we're just playing. Sometimes I play capture the flag, but maybe we're just playing elimination because it's speedball. And who do I want that's going to be legit, that's going to have my back?
First name popped in my mind, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's a great call.
I just feel he's not as mobile as he used to be, but he could sit in a crow's nest perched up there and fucking just snipe boys. Absolutely crushing it. Now, I wouldn't want to be against him. I would personally choose Machine Gun Kelly as my nemesis.
Really?
I'm actually a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan.
Oh yeah, you love Machine Gun Kelly.
And I feel like he'd be chill getting shot, but then also I would be chill getting shot by him.
That's kind of a perfect scenario. That's that's like going paintballing with a friend. It's if you I paintball against my buddies. We go as a big group sometimes, and we'll do teams of 6, and it's dudes I love.
Oh my God,
and I'm taking them out. Yeah, you should cruise. You really should.
I should fucking cruise.
We'll go to SC Village. We haven't done it in a minute just because COVID and stuff, but 100% you're there. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. That'd be so sick. So Machine Gun Kelly, I don't have beef with Machine Gun Kelly. I like Machine Gun Kelly. My thing, and this is me being more of a grandpa, is kids who idolize Machine Gun Kelly. I'm like, dude, there's not going to be another Machine Gun. There can only be really one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Submachine Gun Kelly, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's he and also he's probably a smart dude to idolize. Dates a beautiful woman who's very talented. Fucking, he's crushing it. Has hit albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good, great musician. I mean, I don't know musically if he's how he stacks up, but he's a musician.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, so he's
incredible
legit.
lyricist. He's got incredible flow. His cadence is tight. And
also, did you know this? I thought it was fake, but JT told me that, I forget what show it was on, a daytime television show, where you punch this bag and it measures the power of your hit in pounds per whatever. He broke the record. He had the hardest punch.
Machine Gun Kelly did?
Machine Gun Kelly. And you know who held it before him? Gronk.
Oh my God.
Machine Gun Kelly can punch harder than Gronk, according to this thing, which I go, fake marketing.
No, I think that's real. I think Machine Gun Kelly, well, he raps about kicking people, so we know that his legs are strong, but I would assume he's got some upper body strength too.
I think so. And just physics-wise, he's kind of a lanky wire dude, so he can get some momentum going.
Yeah, also if you put your body through so many drugs like that, your body is either going to deteriorate or it's just going to fucking be resilient. This guy's
what don't kill you make you stronger.
Yeah. He's I'm thinking about creating an alter ego named Shotgun Christine.
Really?
No, but that would be my rapper's name.
That'd be sick as hell. You could get some ink.
Yeah.
Get some neck ink.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to. I'm just going to get some, don't tell my parents.
Yeah, that's what I think you got to do. I think it comes to a point where you got to go, because you can't half-ass being a Machine Gun Kelly or a Shotgun Christine, because it's like, you need to get that unemployable tattoo right here. You need to have the look, the different hair color style, the loud outfit. You got to have that, because you're saying, I'm all fucking in.
Yeah.
You can't be... But I do kind of love someone who's transitioning like that. Like, there's some valets that are like that, where it worries me.
Some valets.
Like transitioning, not in the sense of like becoming their own person, or leaning into a persona, or finding out who they are. I should say that, discovering who they are, but seeing that beautiful transitionary phase of that, of them at work. Like, still having to fucking have the polo on tucked in, and they're just like, it's amazing. Like, work personality versus actual personality. Beautiful thing.
Yes.
Beautiful thing to witness.
I love that. That's got to be like a theme of like something that you do soon. I want to. You would crush that.
Because I have that. You have to have it. You got to be able to turn it on and turn it off, because it's customer service, especially in customer service. You have to have that. Like, there's some dudes on the Best Buy Geek Squad that cruise in where I'm like, dude, I know these guys just love getting shacked, hanging out, like tipping some tall boys. And I'm like, these are my dudes. But right now they're like, excellent. I would prefer, if you would like to leave a review, please. And I'm like, but I love that professionalism. Part of me loves that. Yeah. So all I'm saying is to these kids is, dude, I'm not saying give up on your dreams. I'm just saying you got to market yourself right. Don't think outside the box. Put yourself in one, then sell it. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Exactly. I know, right? I'm like just constantly shilling myself as like checking all these boxes: Asian, female, mostly gay, mostly tired.
Legend. Yeah. Also fucking legend.
Exactly. Thank you.
No, you're a legend. I mean, look, this is also part of the LA in us.
Oh.
Where we are, these things are on our mind. Most people probably aren't thinking like that.
No.
Who I would want to paintball with, to get back to Quentin real quick.
Quentin.
Tom Brady. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I'm so happy he retired. Fucking
fresh news. That's a fresh take that just came out.
I know.
This morning.
I'm happy about that. We're keeping it topical on History is Dank. We're keeping it present on History is Dank. Fuck. Aaron, who would you paintball with? Just give me some time. Someone from the Cardinals?
No. You need someone with some war experience, man.
I agree, dude.
That's why.
Oh, dude, John Basilone.
That's why Eastwood was really good.
Yeah, Eastwood's great. He's been in a million westerns. He's a beast. He's in that movie about Grenada, Heartbreak Ridge.
Yeah, I'm thinking like young JFK. He was a war hero.
Oh yeah, he's a boat commander.
Say young Jeezy for like a second.
Dude, what about Jesus, bro? I would put Jesus on my team, dude. If Jesus is on my team, speaking once again, Christine and I subscribe. For $10.99 a month, we will give you annual blessings. That's our business plan.
And prayers.
Monthly payment plan, annual service. Fucking Jesus, dude. He was an actual person from history. And let's go, dude.
But a pacifist.
Aaron, who would you say? Who's got war experience? Oh, yeah, he was a pacifist. I can't do Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
But it's paintball.
Yeah.
So it's chill. War. It's chill.
Young JFK.
Oh yeah, young JFK.
And you know who was a Marine? Gene Hackman.
Oh, what a great choice. I love Gene Hackman, dude. Because here's the thing, dude. I would be annoying to him. He'd be like, dude, strategically you're doing the wrong stuff, because I'd be following him around the whole time. Like, dude, let's kick it, dude. Gene, what was it like on the set of The Heist? Gene, growing up in New York City, who are your fellow, like, didn't he come up with Pacino and all those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fucking love that dude.
You know who else is a World War II vet? Mel Brooks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Mel Brooks.
All 5'4" of him.
What a legend, dude.
Little baby man.
Hey, that's all right. I don't know if there might be a minimum height requirement. Do you know what the tall height requirement is for service?
No.
6'7". You cannot exceed 6 feet 7 inches for like infantry and combat. I'm sure you could be like
why? I wonder.
I think maybe just gear or the way stuff's built, or like it just, I don't know.
They don't take the plus sizes.
Yeah, it'd be too easy of a target for the enemies.
Jesus
Christ.
No,
dude. All right, let's do one more, then let's cruise. Yo, Strider, I'm going on a first date. Little ice cream and stroll down in San Diego. Very stoked. What are some fire convo topics I can have at the ready? Good question / icebreakers. IDK, I don't have game. Thank you, Blake. All right, little first date advice question.
Love it.
First of all, I got to tell you right now, I love your plan. Mobile, outdoor, ice cream doesn't keep you stale. I think moving's a good thing.
Yeah.
I got to say, I think moving's a good thing. I don't know. What do you think?
You got to be facing the same direction. So don't ever get into a situation where you're sitting across from her.
That's a
just
great
like staring
bit of
at
advice.
her. I assume it's a her. Also, don't. Well, I don't want to give this advice, but I would say definitely have a drink.
Right.
But also, like, don't if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
that's just my thing.
I agree.
Probably cut that out.
Sometimes it's nice and loose. No. Look, here's the thing, Blake. If you're of age and you can have a drink, have a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't have too many, then go driving around or roller skating or something like that where you're going to break your wrist. You know? Whatever
Get
it is.
loaded and go roller skating.
Yeah, dude, honestly, that's that's third date type stuff.
Yeah.
Show up with roller skates. Okay, first question you ask her, what's your shoe size? Before you even say hi. Then you go on planning her third date. We're going to
Don't
get
tell
fucked up
her
and
what
roller
your
skating.
shoe size is, though.
Yeah. Don't want to tell her that. Don't want to give anything away. Unless it's double digits, then maybe you're okay.
Yeah, then you can slip that in.
Yeah, then you can say, hey, what's up? No.
Hey, what's up,
don't,
13?
Yeah, exactly. 13.
Hey, what's up, 14
That
and a
is the
half,
magic
wide.
number, 13. Yeah. Yeah, wide. Fucking Ronald McDonald size shoe over here.
Okay, maybe not that. That'd freak her
That'd be
out.
too weird. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
But then again, if you match, then you guys are meant to be. But play your odds. It's a first date. Okay, I would say don't do anything I just said right there. And, good questions or icebreakers. I mean, sometimes it's, there's always, I would say don't go too broad, like, tell me about yourself. I don't know. Do people say that?
Yeah, no, they don't.
You got to say like.
Only in interviews when you don't get the interview.
100%, right?
Yeah.
It's tough, yeah, because you don't want it to feel like an interview. You don't want to talk about yourself too much. So I like that you're getting ice cream. I mean, I think since you're getting an ice cream, maybe if you need something at the go and the ready, have a funny story about when you got an ice cream as a kid. For me, I have a great story where I got stung by a bee sipping or licking a popsicle when I was 5. That's a
you
fun
told me
story.
that was a great icebreaker.
Yeah, I always tell that story. I think that's a good move. Tell a story where you were sort of not right in the situation, but in a fun, playful way.
Make yourself seem approachable, but also like that, you learn from it.
Yes, humble, whatever highlights any of the main virtues. Tell 7 stories that highlight all 7 virtues.
Also, it's funny that we're giving this advice considering you have a dank fiance and I'm like very, very newly in the dating pool. So we'll see.
I was going to say, have you gone, I don't know if you want to talk about it. Have you gone on any dates, first dates, or how does it go?
Sure have not. I have
Okay.
not. No, I'm definitely still in that phase of like eating ice cream on the floor.
What's your flavor?
I'm trying to think of what
What's
else
your
I do
flavor?
during the day besides, eat ice cream. And
Well, you write, you're a writer, you're working, you're taking meetings, you're being creative. But at the same time, what's your ice cream flavor go to? I like peanut butter chocolate.
butter pecan.
Very dank.
I know.
It's a very adult flavor.
very
right there.
adult,
That's a
very
adult.
southern.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to like slowly up my adulting game. I still today, as a matter of fact, had to ask my dad if it was 0 or 1 that I'm withholding on my income tax.
Oh,
but
taxes.
butter
are-
pecan I've got on lock.
You're good to go there. Like me, I sip my IPAs. Me doing my taxes, no fucking idea. I mean, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I just like,
Bullshit.
yeah, dude. I'm like, I hope this is right. Literally in my head, I tell myself, if they come for me, they'll find out how dumb I am. I'm like, that will be my defense. And they're like, well, you should know better. And I'm like, I know, man, but
You're like, I don't have money for someone to come for me. Like,
That's-
come try.
that's what I'm saying. Like, really, it's not worth their time. It's not worth their time, but it's like, I don't know, dude.
Wait, okay, so what'd you do for your first date with your dank fiance?
You know what? We met at a
close
party.
this up.
We met at a party, hung out, freaking did a little mackin' and cheese, if I don't mind saying so. This was college.
Oh?
Nothing too crazy, nothing
Mm-hmm.
Euphoria-esque, just a little mackin' and cheesing. And then, but our first date was, since this was college times, I said, hey, cruise over. We'd already talked on the phone a little bit. I wouldn't say have this girl over at your house, obviously go somewhere public, but we cruised over and we watched Hook. But then here's the weird part, love that movie. We didn't even make out or anything, even though we already had. So she left being like, what's wrong with this guy?
We just watched Hook.
But it was the worst call because my roommate wanted to watch with us. And this is the worst part of having roommates. So he sat down and watched a little bit of it. And then halfway through I was like,
You're like, bro.
move. And then my other roommate's dog pissed on the couch right where we were sitting. So
Oh
like
my
we couldn't lean
God.
back. So in my mind, I was like, this is a wrong vibe, but I still probably should have given her a little kiss or like even on the cheek or something after leaving. But anyways, it all worked out.
Wow.
We're getting married. But
That's incredible.
that was my first date. I mean, I don't know, man. Be yourself, dude. Chill. Don't overthink it, bro, is all I would say.
Yeah.
What about you?
I just say, try to be confident. You probably won't feel confident at all. You'll probably feel like a shit and you'll probably feel like you're going to die. But pretend to be confident.
Yeah.
And just say some weird shit and be like, yeah, I knew this burger was like undercooked and shit like that. And then slowly you'll hear yourself and then maybe she'll hear it too.
That's what I'm hoping to. And hopefully you won't be in that thing where you hear yourself talking too much. Do you ever get that where you're like, I hear myself talking and I fucking hate everything I'm saying right now?
Oh, for sure.
Or I'll say something and I'll immediately disagree with it and I'm like, I don't feel that way about that. Why did I just say that? Like, oh, the absolute worst. So Aaron, do you got any? Aaron usually has some fire ass advice. Aaron's a married man, but he's still, a legit legend.
Well, I mean, I like you said, I like the plan. There's a lot of waterfront to walk around down there. You can definitely get ice cream down there, Seaport Village.
Yep. Bro, there's the battleship Midway. Take her on that.
There's the Midway. Yeah, there's the statue of the VJ Day Kiss.
Oh yeah, there is.
It's right next to the Midway.
Very nice.
Might
Go up
get
to her and
you-
say, should we recreate that?
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone does it. Might be the perfect romance spot right there. I don't know.
I think that's a good ass move, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron's a San Diego native, and that's some fire ass advice. Dude, Blake, good luck on your date. Have fun. Christine, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Before we get out of here, where can Danktorians,
Oh, nice.
where can the Danktorians find any work that you've done? Check out anything on your socials. Let us know. I'll list them in the description as well.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
What's the best thing to check out or see anything you're doing?
Well, I guess my Twitter is @_ Christine Young. That's probably the best thing. But yeah, that's probably the best way to go.
Hell yeah. On Twitter, I freaking love it. Not on TikTok.
Yeah, that is a strictly private place for my eyes only.
Love that.
I'm just kidding. Although my For You page gets a little aggressive.
Let's go. I don't even know what For You is. What is
Do
For
I need to
You?
come back and teach you about pop culture?
Yes. Yeah, I think we do need to learn about that for the next time. Let's absolutely learn about that. Christine Young, thank you so much for being here. You know where to follow her. Check the descriptions. Fire episode. Watch 1917 if you haven't seen it. I know we did a little bit of a spoiler for you, but I have to tell you right now, you will still enjoy it. We've watched it multiple times
Worth
and
it.
have loved it. Super fire, super legit. Freaking stay stoked. Question, comment, suggestions, StriderWilsonTrez@gmail.com. Aaron, you're a beast. Thank you. Christine Young, can't thank you enough for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Holy
Frickin'
shit.
Stoked. Art is lit.